Okay, I'd like to look at some of the mid-level attacks here. Um, so, uh, so this was Ilkar. So he doesn't have the maxed bowlers yet, and this is one of our regular DC guys. He's been playing with us right from the. We've got him, and here he's got the healers moving pretty well behind the bowlers, but they spread out enough here that it kind of petered out with 2 stars. He's just going to actually does run into a little heat there, but um, decent attack. And that's I said that to me that's a low level 11. That was like one of their lowest 11s, still at the Lego walls, and Ilkar less than max. Um, only BK at 20, AQ at 32, Warden at 3. So this was kind of a solid submax attack. That got 80%. Decent attack there. And then this is BlackRock. Like I said, this is Spas. He was with us for quite a while. This is sort of a 10, but it's more like a 9.1. Maybe it says I would call this a 9.2. This is actually very much like my base. Two level 1 Infernos, and here he's doing the mix miners and bowlers on this one. Didn't really look like he had quite enough, but the miners actually do pop up on that Inferno and get just enough. So that does show you some of the effectiveness of the miner unit when it's popping out there. So yeah, he had 17 of the maxed miners there. So that was said right now that's probably the most overpowered unit they've got. And here's Sarge. So this is an absolute 9.1. But Sarge is also running a sub max version of this attack race. I think they refer to this as Minor Geddon over in DC, but it's a number of mixed units. So to me, this is a legitimate attack. You've got more than simply one mass of crap that you're throwing at it. So you've got to do some management there, figuring out when you're going to get the Valks out, when you're going to get the miners out, etc. So there's even though these are the new units, there's a mix here. So you've got golems, wizards, Valks, miners, and then a couple of bowlers in there, just kind of a sweeper. So to me, I really like this attack and the approach, similar to the attack I used to clear 9s, although I missed on my 9 there. So same thing there. And here's Whoop. Also, this really is versus he's cleaning a 9. This is a 9.1, but the TH is a 10. So these guys are engineered to a large degree like we are. But here you can see Whoop running. So this is very similar to the attack Hicks ran to get the TH11 to 3 stars. Very similar layout. You start with the bowlers on the outside to create the funnel and go from there. So we've tried a number of different ways to get these funnels to work. When I first started running these, I actually ran a couple of baby dragons on the corner. And you can still do that at times, but the whole idea is you got to get up the funnel. And if you don't, they just kind of run around like you saw there with Zamels, and I don't think I showed Reaver's attack. And here's one of Hicks's small attacks. So here he's running another attack we don't run very much anymore, but this is the Hog Golem attack, where you send in the Golem heroes, a couple of wizards as your kill squad, and then send the hogs around to do the pickup work later. And yeah, he's running run a hog 6 there. I don't think I have hog 6. I'm still at hogs 5, so the hog 6 gets some golden spurs or something like that on there. But really nice, nice run there from Hicks's smaller account. So, and as I said, that was kind of the argument I was making in the other one. If you're managing a mixed unit attack, there's some degree of thinking that has to go into the process, as opposed to build the same build and run it through. Although I will say their AQ walk was a tough one, and then Harpole cleaned that one and cleaned that one. So let's see what he was running here. So yeah, same thing with him. He's running the shovel attack here with the moles, the Valks, and probably some boulders in his CC. Yep, there's the boulders. So yeah, that's the attack. Like I said, it's a nice little attack. I'm just starting to upgrade miners on my TH10, which is really, like I said, it's really a 9.2 at this point. So I may play with that attack, or I may not. And then just to show that we do still run drags, this city we were having a hard time cleaning up, and Matt was going to clean it, possibly run Go Lava, but all the Teslas. So basically, this is kind of a junk in the trunk base, where they throw. Jackal actually has a base very much like this. It really is a pain in the butt to clean this. And you'll see what I mean about junk in the trunk here. They've got all the high hit point buildings, and they've got the Teslas up at the high end. So you're wondering, well, what the heck am I doing down at this end? That's where I'm going to start to launch the attack. So there were a couple of Valks in there, but they're now non-issues. The drags will cook them pretty quickly. I could have gone with a hound on this one, just decided not to. I did throw in a couple of baby dragons. So there you'll see what the issue is. Once you've got everything else done, now you've got a lot of high hit point buildings and a lot of heat there at the end. Still no problem for Drags 5 to take that. So that was very much a Zap Quake target. But they did have quite a few tricky nines. We got them all before things were done there. And Matt came in. He was building to clean this one. He was looking at 19, but instead came in with this. And I guess he's running Go Lava here. He was going to try Go Lava at the one I hit, but given all the issues, we actually talked about it and mostly it was him and MJZ decided that really wasn't a good attack for that. And sure enough, they were correct. So as I was kind of alluding to in the other one, when you've got a multitude of attacks here possible, there is a fair amount of thinking that goes into the game as opposed to the build 55 miners and just let them loose. So yeah, so that was that. Yeah, the first attacks on Reaver and Swan, their number 4 hit. He got 1 star on Reaver and 2 on Swan. I said that was reasonable. And I said similar results up and down the list. Hicks, you look at Hicks here. He's looking at Lego walls here, Lego minus walls on Ilkar, Whoop, Lego a little bit more on that, Lego minus on Ike, and Sarge Lego walls. Then you flip over to these guys, similar at 10 and 9, but they quickly move up here at 8 these massively maxed out walls, maxed out heroes. Back to the Lego, this was a really strange layout. So, like I said, this was another moat type city, and that's becoming a more common design. Actually, Sarge ran a version of this for a long time. Um, but yeah, the idea behind the moat city is pretty much anything you run at it just kind of runs around the moat, runs around the loop. They're a pain. But like I said, these are the cities that I think are going to be wiped out by the miner attacks once folks have the miners, because the miners will just move underground and destroy them. So that was none of our miner guys actually took a shot at these. And then Reaver, I think he ran air at this, and fairly tough city. But if you look, you'll see that air defense right there isn't covering the town hall. That one's not covering it really well. That one's got complete coverage. That one's got a little fraction of a coverage there. But this was one that you can run them into because the sweepers were all designed to protect the Eagle artillery. I believe he came in mostly from like 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Did the hero clear and ran some stuff down there. So actually, that was actually a nice attack. And then here's another one of these moat cities. I said you almost have to go at that with one of these weirdo miner type attacks. So, I'm surprised, given the number of people we had in this war who had miners, none of them really queued up and took a shot at those cities. But that's just how it was. And since I haven't actually run any of those attacks, I'm only speculating on what might work there or not. But anyway, it was fun. Fun doing the reunion war, getting folks back from a couple of the far-flung clans to sit back. Saw some nice attacks, and we'll figure out what we're going to do, and if we'll get together for another one of these maybe in a few months, something like that. Overall, it's a good experience to see what some of the other guys are doing and bring us up to speed on some of the variations of attacks that we haven't been using in DC or DCA yet. So that's it.